Well, we're going to give this a shot. We're going to go live again for the next half hour. I'm Dave Stelmachewski, otherwise known as DaveStelma.com or RunToRetirement.com. Welcome, everyone. We are going to do breakthrough success for new entrepreneurs. You being the new entrepreneur, me helping you break through to that success. Every week we're going to feature a new topic and hopefully help create your breakthrough success. So if there's a topic or some frustration that you're having, feel free to give me an email, shoot me an email, or come on to these live events every Tuesday at 6:30 Central Time. Tonight we are experiencing a great election going on, and I'm sure a lot of people are busy, a lot of people are frustrated, a lot of people are on both sides are frustrated and anguished, and there's panic, and there's, oh my gosh, it's doomsday. Today on Facebook I was seeing all different things, all from fear to all different aspects. So just hang in there. It'll be fine. Everything will work out as we move on into the next administration, whichever that one is. And we got 4 years to hopefully get better and keep getting stronger and stronger in the United States. With that being said, let's kind of move on. Tonight I want to talk about marketing. We had a question that came up last week's session about marketing and what it am I doing too much marketing? Am I not doing enough marketing? What about marketing? So I'm going to break it down. Marketing itself, everyone gets overwhelmed. Oh, how do I market? Do I go on Facebook? Do I go on Instagram? Do I advertise? Do I do it more locally? What do I do? And I'm going to break it down. Marketing, envision in your mind, marketing is like when you were younger and you were selecting your friends. Right? There was like those friends that you clicked with. You had the same ideals. Maybe you had someone in common. Parents were in common. Things of that sort. There was something within there. And then as you grow older, your likes and your tastes of those people change. You may all of a sudden now you clicked with the math geeks. For lack of a better term, I was a math geek at one point. Then I started evolving and I started going into music. So then I wanted to be a rock and roll star. So I started doing, taking guitar lessons, practicing singing. I was probably a better singer than I was a guitar player. So I went that route but I started clicking with people that were into music. All different kinds of music. What could I learn from them? What could they teach me? What could I do? But I hung around with those people. So it was a side note that I would start hanging around, talking with those people, getting information, marketing myself to those people because I wanted to go further in being a musician, being a singer, playing with different bands, playing out in gigs, getting gigs, doing things of that sort. So think of marketing on that aspect. Don't get overwhelmed with I have to advertise, I have to put together an ad, I have to do that. Just your content, what the knowledge that you have that you're going to give to someone. And that's really what we're doing. We're giving knowledge to other people, and to have a successful business in the meantime is we're going to charge for our knowledge, our service. If you're a dry cleaner, you're going to give the knowledge of how to clean their clothes without ruining them, without ruining the fabric. You're sharing knowledge of some sort, right? And it's going to be in the form of a service, but you're still sharing knowledge with them. And you're charging them for that knowledge. Now, how you charge is going to be up to you. You can be either the cheapest of something, or you can be the highest priced of something, and then that's just who you are going to have as your best friends, right? You don't need to have, I'll take hairstylists for example. There's going to be many hairstylists that may be a barber, maybe doing cheaper, lower price haircuts, and that may be what they click with, and that's fine. Hi, Diane. I see we got Diane joining in. If you so hairstylists will maybe then market themselves on a to more masses because we're going to be the low price one. If you want to then go into a caliber, you'll see shows and that reality shows that will then market themselves to a higher clientele. So they're going to do maybe 2 haircuts or cut and colors per day, and they're going to be lesser, but they may charge a higher price, $300-400 to do these things, and so that's where they're going to make that money. So first you have to identify what is the knowledge, or what are the service that you're going to give to people, and know what that is, and document that. What am I going to give others and show them? And so then you're going to go down through and to recap, I started out with think of marketing as how you picked your friends when you were younger. So as you picked those friends, you weeded out the ones that were not so good for you, and then some other ones that were better or you clicked with better. And as your expertise and that changed, you changed the friends that you surrounded yourself with. So marketing then is the same thing. You're going to choose the way you market to those people. So one, you have to decide on what's the knowledge, what's the service that you're going to have, and who is that clientele. Now, we're in a different day and age than we were 5 years ago, and I'll guarantee you in the next the next year alone, let's just go that far, the next year alone is going to change dramatically. You're going to see more of Facebook Live. You're going to see more of Periscope Live. You're going to see those things. Facebook is going in the direction of, they want to be the news source. They want to be the entertainment source. They want to have, it's basically going to be like the Facebook channel. Instead of on cable, you're going to be tuning into Facebook, and you're going to pick what you want to watch, where you want the news source to come from. And so things are evolving differently. Would I say do Facebook Live? Sure. Get yourself one of these. Get a little mic up there. That's good enough. I did a couple of tests this weekend. We had a half marathon that in my little town here, and so I went out and I just filmed some of the runners coming around the lake that I live across from, and seeing what and just throwing that out there live that they could see themselves, and that was one way that I advertised it out to them, saying, come on, you can watch, have your relatives watch, I'm gonna on this beginning loop of it, you can see yourself live. And so I got a couple of those blurbs that are on the Facebook page here at Run to Retirement, or Run into Retirement, it is on there. And so I utilize that as a marketing tool for myself or my business here. So there's different ways we're evolving. It's not the old days of where you put an ad in the paper with your picture or something of that sort, showing, hey, this is me. I can, this is where I'm at. Phone number, address. Those days are gone. Now people want more of what can you provide to them? What can you provide knowledge-wise that's going to help them. And so first off, you got to think about what's their frustration. What is frustrating the people out there, and what your clients out there, I should say, and what can you bring to them to answer and relieve that stress and frustration? That's what people are looking for. They want more of what to relieve what it is. In my case, I'm striving to help others get their businesses up and running, get out there, be successful, and that's what my goal is. That's what this weekly show is about. That's what we're here to do. And so anything that I can do, so I sit down every week prior to this show and I'm thinking of what can I give you free that's going to be able to help you advance your business. And that's one of that's the goal within my mind. So marketing, where do you market? That's a really good question. It's got to be. I would say look around you. I would definitely use, and we lost it for a little bit. There we go. We're back up. I would definitely use the free sources that are out there. Facebook, Periscope. Those are great free sources to just jumpstart and get things going. Then you have to be consistent and persistent. Every week, I'm here to do this. Eventually, this is going to be a daily show, Monday through Friday. Eventually, that's where I'm headed with this. But right now, until I work out all the kinks with the internet and all those good things, it's going to be a weekly show, and hopefully this gets out until I can get all those wrinkles ironed out within it. And along the way, see what I can do to improve it until I get a steady stream in here. But eventually it's going to be a weekly thing. Now, the more content that I can give to you, the more content that I can give to beginning entrepreneurs, that's what I'm shooting for, to really get that honed in on what I can do to help jumpstart this economy. The small entrepreneurs, and I'm not talking, if you look at the SBA data, blah blah, a small business is under 100 employees, 100 employees or less. I'm talking about the mom and pop. That's where I specialize. The ones that are going to have eventually maybe have 5 to 10 employees. I'm not talking about the big one. I want to get this jump start and get this going, because that's what's going to really bring the economy back on a faster basis. We have to find what we can do, what our specialty is, and then we need to specialize in that and shoot it right out to those people within our group. So how do you find your tribe? That's the next question. How do you find who it is that you're going to be marketing to? Then you have to really this is where the research comes in. Who is your best client? I don't have any clients. Okay, now we got to find you a client. Who is the best one? How much do you want to make off that client? Because that's going to be the first thing. What are you going to charge for your service? Now let's work on who will freely pay you for that. Who will invite you into their home, whether via Facebook or whatever, however your business works. Who's going to invite you in and pay you for that service? Freely, easily, no argument, no debate. Okay? We've all worked at either jobs, or we've all had different businesses where someone came in and like I had a store, retail store, and so I waited for people to come in the door, and every time there was someone that came in and went, well, would you, and it was a clothing store, would you, I see a little tear down here, would you take less for this? The first thought through my mind is, you know what, it doesn't matter to me, I can do that. And the second thought to me was, you're not my client, you're not my customer. If you're going to search through to find some little flaw in a garment or in our businesses so that you can get it for a little bit less, that's not my client. And nowadays, I easily will just say, I think you need to go see, and I'll point them down the road. I'll refer them to someone else that maybe will charge them a lesser amount, or will be enough to get them through. It really is that old saying of you get what you pay for. And on the back end, you get what you charge. You're going to get the client if you charge too little. If you want to be the big box store, I'm trying not to use names so I don't get kicked off Facebook. If you want to be the big box store, cheaper, per item type of store, then that's go after that client. You're going to have to make it up in quantity versus quality. I don't want to be that. I want to be the quality person, and so they're going to pay. If my prices are out of their range, I'm okay with it. Then you need to move on to something else. But know that you're going to get in return. You're going to get the same thing. So if you go out there, if you're one that is always looking to haggle someone down on something, then you're going to get that, because that's part of your essence. That's who you're going to attract into your business. So the biggest way to get out of that is lift yourself up. Get out of, retrain. John Assaraf had a gathering of minds this last Saturday. And on that was, that teleconference was, that's all part of it. It's a mindset where you have to retrain yourself on how you believe. The first time I had to go and buy a dress shirt that was more upscale, that was more expensive than I've ever spent on a dress shirt before, it freaked me out. I got nervous. I probably got a little sweaty. I was checking my checking account to see, do I have that much money in here? It made me nervous. But the more that you, I'm not saying go out and go into debt, but the more you do things that are in that upper level, the more comfortable you become with that, the more you're going to attract those people into your business and into your life. The other thing is, the next aspect is, what are you fearing? If that's not happening in your business, what are you fearing? Are you fearing success? If I'm successful now, I'm going to be one of those successful people that are rude. Maybe you have an idea that a successful person or more well-off person is more rude or more uncaring, things of that sort. But I'll give you some examples. Look at Richard Branson. Richard Branson is a great example. Wayne Dyer was a good example while he was alive. He would just you came up to Wayne Dyer in an airport or someplace, he would just take the time and embrace you and give you the moments that he would have. He was always looking for that moment. Richard Branson's the same way. There's many people that will stop and just embrace the moment with you, and that are well off, that have millions and millions of dollars, that would not think twice about just going and because they feel comfortable within that realm. So make a list for this next week. I would highly suggest, make a list of your fears, and then embrace them. Once you acknowledge what your fear is and you embrace that, then you can go, okay, it doesn't make sense because not all people are that way. or whatever it is, because fear is just false evidence appearing real. That's that old saying, false evidence or false experience appearing real. There's different ones that use that acronym. But false evidence appearing real. And then once you figure out, you make that list of your fears, now you can embrace them. Now you can look at them and do a 180. We're going to flip it around. Instead of all rich people are mean and rude to people that have less money. Now I'm going to flip around and go, when I'm wealthy and rich, I'm going to be awesome and nice to all people that have lesser than I do. And I'm going to empower them to become just as good or better than I am. So you can just flip it around like that. Okay, so boom, and that will help out quite a bit. Once again, if you have any comments or questions or anything, you can shoot it in the comment section. Hopefully I can read them. This is one of the things you have to work out when it's something new. Facebook Live is new to me, and when it's something new, you have to figure out where all the little gizmos are. And even though I've taken classes and trying to hone in on these things, there's always a whammy. Like I said earlier or before the start of the show, I thought it would be pretty easy. You just go on, and it's not that big of a deal. I found out that our internet is awful. So we're hopefully going to get that squared away in the next week or so. We have to actually put fiber optic cables in now there, and then go from there to get the speed up that we can utilize all this wonderful equipment that I invested in to do these live Facebook Lives here. So these are the things that you work out along the way so that you can, when it becomes a daily show, we can work from there. So fear, let's get back to fear. So false evidence appearing real. You want, once you flip that around, once you make your list of all the fears, I had a fear of being successful. So I would keep sabotaging myself. I'd start writing that book, and I'd get a chapter done, and then I would like, ooh, life comes this way, or this wasn't it. And they were all excuses. They were just one excuse after another, because deep down inside, I had a fear of what success would be, because it's an ongoing. There's not an end journey. Well, what if you get that first client? Okay, well, now I need another client. Now, what is success? And so success to me was a fear. I was if I was successful, then I would have become wealthy, and then I would have, what would I do now if I became wealthy? What would I do with that money? And then I went, you know what? It's all about serving. Let's just figure out how we can serve and help others, and that's all I really want to do. That's what really satisfies me. That's what really jazzes up my soul, is helping others become better entrepreneurs, become better people, to give to their little to their charity of choice, to all these things to help out along the way. So this next week, I see we're kind of getting down to time in that too. We got about 5 minutes left. And then I have to go start packing clothes, because I'm going to be, Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be up north in Wisconsin here, teaching for 2 days. So I have to go upstairs and start packing up. And but this next week, focus on what your fears are. If you keep sabotaging yourself, why do you sabotage yourself? Why do you all of a sudden cry squirrel and I'm going to be on YouTube for the next 25 minutes when I could have been writing for 25 minutes? It all comes down to your priorities, and the successful people prioritize. There's a time for fun, and they all have fun. You see that on Facebook, you see it on their Twitter accounts, you see them out skiing and doing things and running and doing all those good things. I have one question. Diane says, so do you think meditating helps figure out fear? I think it certainly can, because you're clearing your mind, you're clearing the fear. Now, the biggest aspect of that is, are you clearing the fear out of the way? So it's like looking through a window and you see fog. If that's how we kind of start out meditating. And if you clear the fog out of the way and the picture comes clearer to you, yes, meditation can help. It certainly can help immensely if you do it on a regular basis. You're going to see more and more perpetuating out that way. You're going to see more and more ideas. You're going to see different. Your spirit, when you meditate, your spirit takes over. Your energy takes over. It just then that's going to just come out immensely the more and more you practice it. So yes, it can help figure out the fear, but if your fear is so immense that it's blocking that can be a hindrance to it too. So I would do it on all aspects. The faster you want results, the more I would take it. If I have a head cold, I take everything. That doesn't interact with each other, but I take everything, and then I hope that that's a catalyst and it gets done faster. So yes, meditate, but focus on the positive. Don't focus on the fear. If you focus on the fear is just negative. It's just going to be like sinking in quicksand. So you don't want to focus on the fear itself. But once you realize the fear, now you have to either justify it or you got to eliminate it. Or hopefully you justify it and then eliminate it. So what you have to let those fears come out and go, well, where'd that come from? A fear of snakes. I have a fear of snakes. I have no idea. I've never, ever been in contact with a snake. But where that fear comes from is that was embedded in me from my father, because he always talked about these snakes. He grew up in a farm, and when he would bale hay, these snakes, grass snakes or whatever, would come zooming out, and he was just like freaked out about it. So that, I realized, was a fear, an unjustified fear, because I've never dealt with a snake. I've never gotten bit by a snake. I've seen little snakes in that when I was, I guess, younger. I would freak out about them in that. But so that's one of the things where it's like, why do I fear that? So I think of it now. I'm like, well, if I came across a snake, I'd probably like to see what type of snake. If it's a rattlesnake, it's rattling and it's going to strike at me. Yeah, I'm not going to go, hi there, Mr. Snake. But I'm open to that. For lack of a better term, I'm open to that fear. But just take it in at the moment. But it's generally all fears are just cropped up from within. There can be some because of life experiences, but for the most part, the fears are unfounded of where they come from or what we do with them. So meditate. You can help figure out those fears, but probably more than anything, it's like reflect back. Where did that fear come from? If once you put it on paper what that fear is, all of a sudden it loses its power, because it's not embedded in us. It's not in our soul. That all of a sudden we put it out on paper and it's like, oh, I'm afraid of snakes. Where did that come from? Where did I, where did those things come from? And where did I dream it up, and what happened on that? So I don't know. that's what I would suggest do. Looks like we're almost to the end here of my time, because we're getting bombarded with everyone wants to know what's going on with the voting and that. I don't care. Personally, I'll be honest with you. It probably will not affect me. So, but it looks like my internet is kind of fading out here too. If you have other questions, but great question, Diane. Thank you for coming on board this week. If you have other questions, post them on the replay. Otherwise, always email me. Go to runtoretirement.com right now. I'll have the new site, davestelma.com, hopefully within the next few weeks. I keep saying that, and it's progressing, but it's not. It never progresses fast enough, does it? We never have enough going on. So work on those fears and eliminate them if you can. And other than that, go out and make it a great week and change some people's lives. Just change. That's what we're all about. We're affecting people. We're in a positive way, and out of that, we just love ourselves even more. It starts from within, and then it goes without. Goes outside of us and goes out to others. So share your knowledge. Have a great week, and go out there and change some lives. We'll see you next week. Next Tuesday, 6:30. I will be here. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.